the president is sitting there in the back, and I'm kind of sitting there going, oh my gosh, what does he think about this? It's really great when I teach it to mid-level leaders because there's some camaraderie that happens and inside jokes and like, oh, okay, good. He knows my world and we can kind of talk about what is it really like to be in the middle. But one of these sessions when I was teaching it, the president of the organization was in the room. And I've got this illustration that's in the book that talks about the valley. And the valley is when you get your first promotion, yes, you move up on the org chart, but in reality, you move down into a valley. And so you've got your team on one side, and then I've got this other side that I call Mount Authority. So these are all the bosses in the organization. And it just talks about how problems all roll downhill. And so here I am, I'm teaching these mid-level leaders about this, and I'm putting this up on the slides, and I'm talking about Mount Authority and bosses and the team, and you feel constantly buried under more than you could handle. And this whole time, the president is sitting there in the back of the room, and I'm kind of sitting there going, oh my gosh, what does he think about this? And so I go through the whole spiel and I tell the whole story, and everybody's laughing and kind of nodding their head in agreement going, yeah, that's my life. I feel like I'm in the valley. And I just engaged the president and I just said, Ken, what do you think about this, right? Do you identify with this? And just kind of held my breath for a moment, just going, what is he gonna say? And I'll just never forget, he looked at it and he goes, yeah, that's exactly what it's like. This is a guy who's had a much longer career than me, and he's identifying with this valley in the way that a lot of mid-level leaders feel. So that was relieving. And then he kept going, and what he said after that really kind of shocked all of us in the room. But the more I think about it, the more I start to realize how true it is he went on to say, Adam, I still to this day feel like I'm in the valley. And that was a little bit of a record scratch moment for all of us in the room, because when you set up that illustration and show your team on one side and the bosses on another side, you just kind of think, oh, if I can just get out of this valley and just make it over to Mount Authority, then my life is suddenly going to get better. My client was saying is, no, that's not true. You never get out of the valley. It just kind of hit me, no, if there's no way out, then one of the worst things we could do as a mid-level leader is to look for a way out. Because if we're always looking for a way out, we're never gonna find one, and we're gonna constantly be discouraged. And we're constantly gonna think, well, if I got a new job, a new boss, maybe change industries. That's what I did in my career. I changed industries because I didn't like the valley. And I thought I could go find a valley-less industry, and it doesn't exist. And it really led to some great insights as I was continuing to write and research the book, of just going, no, there is no way out, but there is a way through.